Hey skiers, I'm Jeff from skiessentials.com.
I'm Bob. Happy Friday.
Welcome back to our Top 5 Fridays ski industry news videos. Hope you've been enjoying our comparison series this year. I've had a lot of fun with it. Bob, have you?
Yeah, and it just seems like more and more skis. I mean, we had to cover the sign for this next one.
I know. They just keep making them.
Yeah.
If they keep making them, we're going to keep talking about them. But yeah, Bob and I were kind of planning next week's video, so we thought we would give you a sneak peek at what we're going to chat about next week. And it's probably pretty easy to figure out, but we're going to do women's skis around 100 underfoot.
Yep.
Actually pretty big range in widths in this one from 95 to 104.
Yeah. So lots of good stuff in there for sure.
Yeah, and we were kind of just chatting about it before we started filming, and I feel like the women are getting better graphics for 2023.
I agree. There's a lot of winners up here on the
There's
wall.
some really good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really like this Black Ops 98 graphic.
Yeah, I like that one. I really enjoy Line Pandora on your end.
Yeah, they probably
well.
can't see it, but that's what Bob's talking about.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
I think sweet. Anyways, so keep an eye out for that. The first women's video we did was Bob and Allie.
Yep.
This one will likely be myself and Emily.
Nice.
So
Switching it up.
We'll see if our opinions differ to yours. I don't think they will.
No, probably not.
So with that said, we'll get right into the news. It's a pretty quick week for news. Some of the topics are very quick, so it'll probably be a shorter video than some. But first topic of the week, we got the official 22-23 FIS calendar for pretty much all disciplines. And the big news here is that we have more United States events than ever before.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Just like generating interest. I mean, that's great. People love the one in Killington.
Right.
Like, I'd imagine that's going to be the same for the new ones in Aspen and Palisades.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be great. So just a quick run through the calendar. We do have that women's slalom and giant slalom back in Killington. That's Thanksgiving weekend or the weekend just after Thanksgiving. I think that's probably what everyone thinks of as Thanksgiving weekend. I don't know. I don't think I needed to clarify that.
You never know.
No one's going to be like, the Thanksgiving weekend, the one before. Anyways, then a week later, the men are in Beaver Creek for Super G and 2 downhill races. Fast forward to February 25th and 26th, the men are in Palisades, Tahoe for slalom and giant slalom. And then we have men's Super G and downhill at Aspen, March 3rd through the 5th.
And those two places are no strangers to big events.
Nope.
You know, so that's going to be cool to see them get.
No, and like the Aspen downhill course is pretty famous.
Right.
It's a pretty awesome venue.
Yeah.
So that'll be cool. And then on the freestyle side, Deer Valley will be hosting aerials and moguls for men and women February 2nd through the 4th. And then on the free ski and snowboard side of the spectrum, Copper will be hosting halfpipe and big air for both skiing and snowboarding December 16th through 17th. Month and a half later, everyone's heading over to Mammoth for halfpipe and slopestyle.
Cool.
So that's a lot going on.
That's a lot of events around these United States.
Yeah, I would strongly encourage you to go and attend some of these events in person if you can. Professional skiing is really, really fascinating and even more impressive to watch in person than on TV. And just kind of take in the atmosphere.
Aerials was my biggest
Aerials
thing
is crazy to watch
that I love to watch.
They go so high.
And they just keep going up. Like, it just seems like they never reach the top. It's incredible.
Yep. Upright aerials coming back, right, Bob?
Yeah, I think so.
I like to share our off-topic conversations here. Bob and I were just talking about how upright aerials should make a comeback.
Yeah, I mean, like, no one ever does that in park anymore.
I want to see 5 Daffies.
Off, like, the next Olympic big air jump.
Yep.
Just someone do it.
Perfect extension Daffies. Yep. Parallel skis to parallel.
Yep. Hip extension, no knee bend.
Exactly. Yep. Don't you change your arm too?
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah. Anyways, I grew up watching upright aerials, and I always thought they were really fun to watch. But that's it. And we'll leave a link to the entire FIS calendar if you want to look at all the European events and stuff like that. Second topic of the week. A while back, we covered a topic about energy concerns in Switzerland and Austria and the potential effects on ski area operations. And this is kind of the closest thing that we've got to affected operations. The Crans Montana exhibition night slalom race has been unfortunately canceled for this upcoming season.
Yep.
Which I guess makes sense. If you're looking to cut energy consumption, a night slalom race feels like a great place to start.
And an exhibition at that. I'm willing to bet that if it was like the actual race, that it might
100%.
slip through.
Yep.
But for an exhibition, yeah, that's a shame overall, I think. And it seems like people really enjoyed that event as a precursor to the Wengen
absolutely.
one. So
no, it's cool. And I like those kind of fun-filled nighttime events. I have a lot of fond memories of stuff like that throughout my skiing. So kind of a bummer, but we'll keep an eye out, see if we get any more news of other cancellations or affected operations. And then third topic of the week, I didn't really write down many notes for this one, Bob.
I don't think you need to.
Stowe paid parking. We got some more updates and announcements regarding Stowe paid parking, and maybe we can just have a quick discussion about it.
Okay.
So basically, the mountain or their social media accounts put out the message, I believe early this week, or maybe
it was
like
last Friday at about
Friday,
9 o'clock. I remember very specifically.
Right. That we've known about a $450 season parking pass for a while now.
Yep.
And they basically put out a statement that they will go on sale on a certain date and that those parking passes will not necessarily guarantee a parking spot.
Right.
And I don't really want to go too far on one side or the other, but I think it's fair to say that everyone freaked out.
Yeah, and 100% negative.
100%.
Yep.
And I'm not here to defend the actions and decisions of Vail Resorts, but I do think people went maybe a little too far in their reactions to this announcement.
Yeah, I think that we were talking about that guaranteed aspect a little earlier, and I think in general, if someone says, "Okay, you didn't pay last year, now you have to pay this year," you're gonna get overwhelming amount of negative.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm not psyched about the idea.
No one wants to pay to park
parking.
anywhere.
Right, exactly.
It's a universally hated thing.
Right.
That's there's nothing to talk about there. But the guaranteed spot, the situation arises that everyone is guaranteed a spot. So everyone that buys a pass has to have a guaranteed spot.
Right.
And if
always.
And if one person doesn't show up, then that spot goes empty.
Yep.
And if someone else comes and they want that spot, they cannot have it.
Right.
And they can't pay for it and they can't have it.
Because if you filled that spot at 1 in the afternoon, thinking oh, well, Bob's not coming today. We haven't seen Bob yet. And then you decided to ski at 3:15 in the afternoon and showed up and your spot was filled, then you wouldn't have. So it's logistically, it feels kind of impossible for them to guarantee a parking spot. And I understand the backlash and the wording and oh my God, a season parking pass where you're not actually guaranteed parking. I totally understand, but it would be way worse and people would be way more pissed off if they had some VIP parking lot that was sectioned off for season pass parking holders.
Right.
That would be worse.
Yeah.
So, again, I'm not here to defend the actions of Vail Resorts. I don't think the paid parking is a smart thing, but I do think there was a little bit of a snowball effect on social media and in the comment sections, and everyone just kind of piggybacking off this, oh my God,
right?
You're buying a pass and not guaranteed,
right?
And I just think you need to take a step back and think about what that means.
Yeah. but like their wording is terrible, and
It's
like
terrible. Yes,
it just
there's
seems
a
like
better way to communicate what they're trying to do.
every time they post anything, it's like throwing gasoline on a fire. It's just
100%.
bigger and bigger explosions
100%.
of horrible things.
Yeah.
And like they should just stop. They should just stop posting anything and just find out when you show up.
Yeah.
And you're only mad once.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be mad either way. But I don't know. No one likes to have to pay to park.
No, and I'm like, I hope we get comments of people just being pissed off at me.
Right.
For not being like, not joining in on the like, what do you mean it's not guaranteed?
Right.
But like, you just like, logistically, it would be very challenging to guarantee a parking spot.
Yeah.
And that's not what they're guaranteeing. They're guaranteeing that you will never pay.
Right.
Like whether or not there's a parking spot, period, that like.
I can imagine that would be upsetting as well to someone that pays the $450 and shows up and there's no spot for them.
Yeah.
In that lot.
Right.
Like that lot's full. Yeah, I'm going to be upset.
Yeah. But that's like the same way that everyone's been upset for the past few years.
Right.
If you show up and there's no parking spot.
Yeah.
And that's just like, you can't magically create a solution. I don't
Right.
know. It's an interesting scenario, but we thought we'd chat about it. The other thing that came up is the proof of carpooling, which I think is going to cause a much bigger problem.
I agree. I think that one's going to be tricky. I think there's
It's going to be real messy.
a fundamental lack of understanding of how people move around the resort, whether it's dropping kids off at the ski club and coming back over and parking at Mansfield,
Right.
or just having people show up and disperse.
Right.
Like what if someone has to go to the bathroom? And
Right.
like there's just an endless amount of contingencies here.
Totally.
That like you really have to have, like it almost seems like you need to have your 4 people in a group, like them taking a picture of you, emailing you a code, and then you putting that in. Like there seems to be a logistics issue with this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to get real messy.
Yeah.
So basically, like the gist of it is you're supposed to show up and find a parking attendant and show them that you have 4 people, and then they give you a coupon code.
Right.
To, I assume, like credit you back. Because at that point, have you already paid? And then you're getting your money back?
No, I don't think you've already paid. And I think that like it's all license plate based. So basically like, they will scan your plate.
And see if you've either paid or entered a coupon code?
Yeah, I think so. So it'll show up that you've entered a coupon code.
So the first place my mind goes is, are they generating unique coupon codes for everyone?
Right.
Or is there going to all of a sudden be a social media channel that's just like, here's today's coupon code?
Right. Stowe parking lot coupon codes.
Right.
I'm not sure how this is going to work. And like, I don't know who, like, are these employees from the parking company? Because they have subcontracted.
Correct.
So it's like, it's tough being lumped in with Stowe,
Right.
because like Stowe is owned by Vail and Vail has subcontracted this parking company. So like
Right.
we're multiple steps removed from Stowe.
Stowe. Yeah.
Yeah, which is really interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it's not great.
No.
None of this is great. But I at least maybe wanted to talk some people off the ledge on the guaranteed thing.
Yeah. And like my thing is like, I think they've overshot on how much paid parking versus free parking there is.
Oh, that's
think
that's a whole nother issue.
I think that ratio is wrong.
That's a whole nother issue.
Yeah.
Because and you and I are basically like 2 different schools of thought here.
Right.
Like you are planning on waking up and clicking refresh and trying to buy a parking pass.
Yeah.
I am planning on parking in the free parking at the toll house area
Yeah.
as much as I can. But yeah, I mean, my big question is what happens when the toll house area fills up? Am I then forced to go pay to park? Or is there like free overflow lot somewhere?
I don't know. How far down the mountain road are you going to have to come to all the way back to Pinnacle?
I told you, I'm just going to park at Pinnacle and take the shuttle.
Yeah.
I think we've talked about paid parking enough.
I don't know. We could do hours about this, I'm sure.
I'm sure we could. If
get other people in a little bit more fired up about
it. Bring in some special guests. Yeah, I don't know. Leave a comment. I'm sure not all of you are in the Stowe area, but this also kind of feels like something it's made its way into like at least national ski industry news.
Yeah, it's definitely an industry-wide issue,
Yeah.
and parking is just one of these things that's kind of gotten out of hand over the years. Whether it's
Totally.
short-term rentals, lack of employees, long lift lines, paid parking. Like there's just a whole host of these issues that have really just exploded for us recently, and I think we're all just kind of trying to catch our breath about it.
Yeah. I just want to go skiing.
I just want to go skiing too. It all makes sense when you're on the
I
lift.
don't really care too much about like the logistics of me getting from here to the lift.
Yeah.
I care way more about what happens after that.
I think your family of 3 weekend trip people are going to have
they're really in for it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like that family that has to park in the free parking and take the shuttle up, like that is unpleasant.
Totally.
On any level.
Especially if you've got a young skier.
You got a kid, that is just unpleasant.
And you're like a ways away from your stuff.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to lug like a ton of bags to the lodge.
Right.
And like Stowe doesn't want that either, because then the lodges would just be a mess.
I mean, they're a mess anyway.
Yeah. But I at least
everywhere.
I rely on my car.
Right.
As a physical place to like go to and from.
Yeah, me too. And even with 3 kids, like we just can load everything in the car and leave it there.
I'm pretty sure I said this video was going to be short. So moving on. Let us know in the comments if you've got any opinions or questions or anything that you want to say about paid parking.
Yep.
Fourth topic of the week. This one's pretty interesting, huh, Bob?
We can get fired up about this one too.
We're going to just go right through it and with plenty of neutrality and poise.
Just objective facts.
The 2029 Asian Winter Games have been scheduled in Trohana, the mountain community planned in the futuristic city of Neom, and there are environmental and social concerns.
The end.
No, people are like pretty upset about this.
We first covered Neom on April 1st. I looked back.
Did we?
And we had
hilarious.
to preface this story with
This is not
an April Fool's joke. And even after we did that, I still thought it was a joke.
Yeah.
So they're building a futuristic city in the middle of Saudi Arabian desert and with year-round skiing. And they have to make a huge man-made lake filled with desalinized water. So the amount of energy it's taking to like build this city is causing huge issues amongst the ski community and the winter sports community, and they don't want them to host.
And not to mention the existing humanitarian and social issues of the overarching regime.
Right. There's just people have a lot of problems with this place and this event.
Yeah.
That's it.
There's also like, some logistic issues in the sense that that's 7 years away and like there's no city.
Yeah, well, I feel like they do this kind of like they do the Olympics and like the World Cup, like soccer event where they bid and they get this event and then they have to build all this stuff.
Right.
So it's like they're putting these plans in place so that they get more like streamlined approvals and people to help build it.
Correct.
So definitely a cart before the horse type of thing.
Yep.
We'll see. We'll see in 7 years.
Yeah. No, it's going to be very, very interesting.
Yep.
Remember the promotional video where people ski uphill?
Yeah, I didn't know what I was watching. I definitely thought it was fake. I thought it was
and then like a sailboat goes by. There's people skiing uphill and then a sailboat goes by. And I have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
About how that all works.
It's pretty cool.
But I'm really excited for when I get to go skiing uphill next to a sailboat.
In the Saudi Arabian desert.
Or just anywhere. I mean, if the technology exists, we're just going to reapply it somewhere else.
I'm interested.
I'm going to be making powder turns on the reservoir.
Yeah.
Next to some ice boats.
I support you.
And finally, we have our edits of the week. Just 3, but they're all pretty good. First is Cody Townsend, the 50-37 out of 50. I really liked the little interview. I can't remember the guy's name that it started with, but these are always entertaining.
Yep.
Cody's a great host and obviously an awesome skier and mountaineer. So check that out. And then we have Ski the East Lappin 3.1. This is Sugarbush.
These are great little
They're
videos.
great.
They're
Yeah.
awesome.
Yep.
Backyard, backwoods.
Yeah, no, it's got a
Park.
good vibe.
Yeah,
Small East Coast cruise.
Yep.
It's great. It's what Ski the East is all about.
Very soulful and
Yeah. Yep.
I like it.
Yep. If you've never checked out the park scene at Sugarbush and you're into that kind of stuff, I would strongly encourage you to take a trip to Sugarbush because it's a really cool little community.
Yeah.
There at Sugarbush, and it's probably, I don't know, I would say probably the new hot spot for park skiing in New England.
I mean, it's a great location, tons of features.
Yeah.
They take pride in it. They are enthusiastic. It's
Yep.
great.
If anyone wants to disagree with me and say that your mountain is the hot spot for park skiing in New England, go for it. And I'd be happy to argue with you in the comments. And then finally, we have Level 1 presenting Something, which is a short film with Parker White, who is quite easily one of my personal favorite skiers. Just incredibly strong.
I remember seeing him when he was this tall doing mogul competitions.
Back in like the Max Gorham era.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
You didn't coach Parker
No.
White. Just your athletes competed against him.
Yep.
Did they win?
They lost.
Oh.
It's all right.
Well,
Character building.
congratulations to Parker White for winning all those youth mogul competitions.
Yeah, everyone starts in a place like that, you
and
know?
your ensuing very successful professional skiing career.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see.
Yeah. So that's it for Top 5 Fridays this week. Sorry for taking more than half the video to talk about Stowe paid parking, but that's probably the most interesting topic. Let us know if you have any strong opinions, and we're going to go plan next year's ski test.
Sweet.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.